If only I had a better countdown. Wait, I do.
Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go.
Alrighty, friends and neighbors, it is time for NFL Pregame Party, a special Saturday edition. We'll have this for the next 2 weeks because we've got the playoffs. We got Wildcard Weekend this weekend, and then next weekend it'll be Divisional Weekend. So we're going to do it on Saturday to highlight the games and who we think is going to win and all that good stuff. Alongside me this morning is the Knoxter. What's going on, man?
Hey, pretty good. And it was a good week. You want to know why, Joe? You want to know why it was a good week? We didn't have to watch Alabama getting their ass whooped this week.
Man, look at him trolling the chat.
It's always a good week when you're not subjected. Oh, hey, Keely Chow. How's it going, buddy?
Keely Chow's the first in today, and I think I'm going to give him not a video, but a GIF, because I think this one embodies the Bama spirit. Yeah, Brad Pitt wearing red, being a meathead, rooting for the Bama roll tide and all that good stuff. So there you go, Keely Chow. Good to see you. Who else is in this morning? Real Wade Nation is here. Good to see you, man. Yeah, in his Jim Mora voice, playoffs.
Yep.
I just hope we win another game. That was great stuff. But anyway, how are you doing this morning, man? I know you're doing great because, look, he was hyped. He texted me. He said, dude, we've got 5 days straight of killer football.
And it started out, first 2 games have been pretty good. So.
Yeah, the first 2 games have been pretty good. And we're going to talk about those first. Of course, we're talking about the college football playoff. So, Knock, you got to see the entirety of these games. I got to see the end of the Notre Dame-Penn State game, and I got to see about all I saw was the fourth quarter of Ohio State and Texas. So go ahead and tell them what happened, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, in the first game, the Notre game, that was a Thursday night game, and it was really defensive in the first half, 10-3 going into halftime, and then offenses kind of figured some stuff out, made adjustments, and Notre Dame made the turnover at the end of the game to line up a field goal, and I'm kind of glad it's not Penn State because I really would not want to see Penn State play Ohio State again. It's just, ugh. So I'm super glad.
The proof was in the pudding in the regular season, I think.
Yeah. And in the championship game, Penn State cannot beat the better teams in the Big Ten. So,
I felt bad for that quarterback, though. I really did. First turnover of the game, and it's right in crunch time. I felt bad for the kid. He knew it right away. His hands were on top of his helmet like, oh, shit. I shouldn't have done that. But, yeah, I felt bad for him. You know, I was pulling for Penn State because that's my nephew's alma mater. But Oh my God, really? Keely Chow, such hatred,
Uh,
bro. Come on, the Fighting Irish. Come on, man.
yeah,
But anyway, go
you
ahead,
guys
Knock.
got your blowout win against them in a championship. What are you mad about?
All right.
Um, Ohio State, Texas. This is a pretty good game. A lot of defense. I think Ohio still had the slight edge. I think Texas was kind of holding on for dear life in this game, if anything. It just
Yeah,
seemed
they
like
had to
Ohio State
tie it
was.
up right before half, right? I mean, it was
No,
14.
well, no. Yeah, they did, and then they let Ohio State get a freaking 75-yard screenplay. Like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I was with John and doing his show last night while watching the game too, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Ohio State just scored in one play.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was their two player, whatever it was, but it was a 75-yard screen pass right before the end of the half.
Yeah.
I mean, ugh, that you can't give that up. Come on, Texas.
No, you can't.
So. And then, yeah, and I think you got a little showcase for us, pretty much what
I
happened at the end.
do, but to preface this before we get started on it, I have to say, I want to say from about mid fourth quarter on, maybe even earlier than that. How long was that drive where they just pounded it right down Texas's throat right before this? It was like 8 minutes, wasn't it, of the fourth quarter? They just kept handing it off. It was highlighted by the quarterback power that they ran on fourth down. Remember, they were in like that no man's land where they couldn't kick a field goal and they didn't want to punt. And they went for it on 4th and 2, I think. And the quarterback, if he hadn't stumbled and the turf had tackled him, he might have scored. You know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about?
do. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they ran it almost every down. I think they threw one or two passes on that entire drive, but it was like 8 minutes. It was impressive by Ohio State. They just muscled it right down Texas. But Texas, they came right back down.
They did.
They threw a couple of deep passes, got them, and then we got to the goal line stand that is going to, unless something really impressive happens in the national championship, this is going to be the highlight of the entire playoff. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Assuming the Natty's not a blowout,
well,
this is going to be the biggest play of the
yeah,
playoff.
it's going to be the thing, no matter who wins it, because this was impressive. If you like good defensive football, check this out. As you can see right here, this is 1st and goal at the 2. Okay, it was a 3rd and 3 play that got them down here because they raped a friggin' wide receiver in the back of the end zone, and so the penalty put them at the 2. This is where they started. Well, my fourth down. I mean, this is impressive. The defense of Ohio State stuffed them, pushed them backwards every play just a little bit, and here we are, 4th and goal, 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes left, and uh, I'm going to get hit for highlights, so I decided to use skill shot here. Keep an eye on this guy right here. His name is Sawyer, number 33. Look, guys, he got in there, and this doesn't even do it justice. Go watch this highlight. He gets off that block so fast, it's like he wasn't even blocked. He just dipped his shoulder and got right underneath that guy. And you see he's free. You saw it, but it was 4th down. He had to try and do something, so he tried to throw it. Well, Sawyer, who actually, ironically, was his roommate when he played for Ohio State, blows him up. Ball comes free, and he wins with the trifecta. He scoops it up and is gone. I think it was 84 yards, something like that.
87 or something like that.
Something like that. Gone, and that was with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in the game. They go up 28-14. And that was it for them.
Yeah,
that was
Ewers threw another interception.
Yeah, I mean, like the second
pass.
pass. Yeah, he threw one right down in the middle of the field.
They were both good games. They were all there at the end of the game, and it's just, I mean, that score shows 28-14, but that was a 14-point swing right there.
Yeah, it was. It was wow. I mean,
should have been tied or could have been tied into. I mean, even if they kicked a field goal and then tried to get the ball back, they had time to and timeouts and to try to get the ball back. It probably wouldn't have been very exciting if they went for the field goal, which they didn't. So, but yeah, no one expected that.
No, that was not expected at all, and impressive. Knock will tell you, I love great defense, and that's That is one of the sweetest ways to win a football game, when you can score on defense to win. That's just too awesome. Whether it be a safety or something like that. That was phenomenal. Who knew? That guy gets off blocks really quickly. He's a really good guy as far as a pass rusher. But my gosh, the wheels once he got the ball in his hands, my gosh, it was amazing. The Longhorns weren't going to catch him because there was nobody in front of him. It was pretty cool. It was great to see. It really was. I am no big fan of Texas or Ohio State, but I'm a fan of how that game ended. That's for sure. It was really cool, man. I enjoyed the shit out of it. John, did you watch it? No, probably not. You might have caught the end of it after the show last night, I guess. No, that happened when you guys were on, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Go watch those highlights, buddy. It was something else. It was pretty cool. But anyway, so who do we like in this? According to the seeding, Notre Dame should have the upper hand, but I don't know. After the defense I saw out of Ohio State last night, whew. But Notre Dame has a pretty good defense too. They look pretty good.
You got to lean Ohio State just because of the playmakers.
Yeah.
That's it. They're going to be the favorites in this one.
Yeah. You think?
I'm pulling for Notre Dame.
I am too.
Oh yeah, me too. I
think everybody in the country's pulling for them.
Yeah, I just Ohio State, they've been
except
to the Natty
for
a bunch of
Keely
times,
Chow.
so.
Of course, Keely Chow.
Yeah, except for him.
He's got a problem with Ohio State apparently. So, he'll just be over there rooting for his Bama elephants to roll. Yeah, which they're not going to. But anyway.
High tide. High tide.
High tide, guys.
High tide.
But I think everybody, unless they're Ohio State fans, he's saying hell with both of them.
The most annoying thing.
So Keely Chow, what I'm hearing is you're not going to watch the national championship game. Oh man, he's laughing. That's very cool. But
one of the most annoying things in the world to me is when they introduce themselves and they go, "The Ohio State."
Yeah, the Ohio State. Please stop it.
Yeah,
there is no other Ohio State.
I was fixing to say, are there about 3 or 4 Ohio States or something? Good Lord, the Ohio State, go away, go away.
There's even a Miami, Ohio. Like it's just
there's Miami of Ohio, yes. But the way that game ended last night, though, being an Oklahoma Sooners fan,
I can see
that. I kind of enjoyed that. Yeah, I talked to Danny this morning, Highlander, and he said, "Yeah, that's great." He said the Donghorns shouldn't even have been representing the SEC. But anyway,
yeah. How about that? That's a interesting one, right? No SEC in the Natty.
Yep, no SEC team in the national championship game. Let's see, the U of Alabama, the Ohio State, and the U of Miami. There you go.
No, anyway. Miami just got Carson Beck. He's transferring to Miami.
He put himself in the portal and he's going to Miami. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Huh. That's interesting. I saw the stories where he was putting himself in the portal, but
yep.
I didn't know that somebody had already picked him up.
It was yesterday. It got announced.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you, Real Wade Nation. Notre Dame. Let's fucking go. You know.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Yeah! Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Yeah!
Got a twofer on that one because I forgot to turn the loop off. But anyway, I'm pulling for Notre Dame. I think most people that aren't Ohio State fans are going to be pulling for Notre Dame in this one. But let's just hope that we get what we got in this round, some good competitive football games, because both of these came down to the fourth quarter. And both of them were, I thought they were pretty good games, both of them, the little bit I saw, and I saw most of the end of both games. So I was at work the last 2 nights, so I don't get to really check things out until I get up to the resident manager's room, But Knock, are you pleased with the outcome of the playoff?
I mean, no, my team's not in the
Well,
championship,
okay.
but I mean the games were good for the most part. I'm interested to see what changes they make, if any,
Mm-hmm.
in the off season. It's going to be interesting because you got, we've discussed this already, at length. But
Right.
first round, all the home teams won. Second round, all the bye teams lost. So it's a little weird.
Yeah.
5 through 8 were the ones in the semi, and so the bottom and the top teams all lost easily,
Mm-hmm.
relatively. So it little interesting what they're going to change. But I mean, I think in the end we had the 4 best teams in the semi.
Yeah.
Georgia was kind of beat up. They didn't have their quarterback. Their offense wasn't that crazy, anyways. Boise State being a group of 5, I think they played pretty well, considering. And then, Oregon getting sloshed was a bit of a surprise. But, Arizona State put up a great fight, took Texas to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So wish the first round was a little bit more closer, but you're going to get that with the better teams, kind of
Right.
beating up on the lower seeds, which happens in the NFL too. So
Yeah, it does.
um,
It does.
but I think the seeding does have to change. I think Ohio going, or like I said, and I mentioned all the time, but Oregon getting Ohio State for their first game after a bye, to me, just seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem correct. I feel like they got the biggest hosed out of all this.
Mm-hmm.
At least Georgia, got a couple weeks to prepare with their backup quarterback, kind of thing, and so I don't know. And then I think Penn State got a pretty easy route, and then when they played a really good team,
Yeah.
they struggled a little bit. But it was still a great game between Penn State and Notre Dame. It was evenly matched almost at times.
Right. It came
It
down to
seemed
the
like.
wire. Like we talked about, that kid he made a mistake, and it was the first one of the game, and yeah.
I don't think we'll be able to get him, but if we can draft that tight end from Penn State,
Dude, he's a hoss, no doubt.
he's the next Brock Bowers right now. So
Yeah,
and
that's a
he
big
can throw
fella.
the ball. So if we
Mm-hmm.
can get him with Sean Payton,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, I think he's unfortunately we're gonna be like in the 20s, and
Yeah,
he's probably gonna go in the
he's going to go
teens.
before
So
that. Mm-hmm.
and so unfortunately, unless he slides, which I don't see
Mm-hmm.
happening, or we trade up for him. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get him. So we'll probably get like the second best tight end because Bo Nix needs a tight end.
I
It
do.
could
Go
be
ahead.
worse. You could end up 32 like we're going to.
Ha ha ha.
Good to be the king, huh, John? Let's get back down to earth with the rest of us here. I got a question for you.
They're getting 32 because they traded back.
Okay, so I have a question about that Ohio State Oregon matchup. Did they win defensively?
No, they
In that one?
blitzkrieged them. There was 34-0 in the first half. Like it was.
I mean, but did they force a lot of turnovers? Is what I'm asking.
No, not really. No, it was just 3-and-outs. It was just
3 and outs. Okay.
Oregon was super rusty, and their defense could not stop Ohio State. Before you knew it, in the first like 5 minutes, it was 21-0 or something like that. Like it was just it was so ugly.
Well, I mean,
And then Oregon can't run the ball anymore.
Rust
And
was a factor in every one of those higher seeds losing.
I don't know about every single one, but definitely the Oregon game is like because it was like a month since they played.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. I definitely think there's way too long. It's one of the things I had my issues with the BCS
Mm-hmm.
was, and that kind of brings up the Notre Dame and Alabama. The way Notre Dame was playing leading up to that was really good, but then they took a whole month off, and then you get all that time away from the field. You have that full press, and your head gets kind of unhinged a little bit. I imagine.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're playing in the biggest game of your life. Like,
Right.
I imagine there's some wide-eyedness there. So, I don't know. I don't like how much time it took, and then of course the seating part. So, and yeah, I think, and then Ohio State just coming off the game against where they beat Tennessee, which was
Mm-hmm.
kind of surprising in itself. So I don't know.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Real Wade Nation. I appreciate you. Well, I think the only reason, the only way that they can keep them from getting too rusty is having all the teams play in the first round. That would be the only way to avoid it. And that right there could fix the seeding problems too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, maybe not play the second best team in the playoffs would be help too. By lower seeding, it should be the lowest seed, not this weird seeding.
They got
they
the
did.
lowest seed, according to them.
Technically in this one, but if they did a different seeding, how it should be, then Ohio State would be in the top 4.
Right. So they need to tweak the seeding. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, all I know is this. Both of these 2 games have been pretty good, and I'm hoping this one is a good one between Ohio State and Notre Dame. From what I saw out of both games, man, Ohio State's pretty fucking strong right now. They really are. Yeah. That drive that got them up 21-14 was impressive. They ate 8 minutes of that clock, dude, and just pounded it right down their throat. It was ridiculous.
I just don't know if Notre Dame can keep up with them. That's going to be the thing. I think they're going to be playing from behind. Unless they get some turnovers and Will Howard all of a sudden regresses and can't get the ball to the receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. It's just going to be turnovers. That's all they can hope for.
Well, we'll be watching. Good. It's next Monday, right? Or is it this Monday? It can't be this Monday.
No, next Monday.
It's next Monday.
9 days away.
9 days away. So they got time to rest up, get ready to go. Going to be Ohio State and Notre Dame in the national championship game, and that's being played in Atlanta, I believe, at Arthur Blank Stadium, Mercedes Stadium, or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. Okay. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I guess. But anyway, it's one of the newer stadiums. It's pretty nice. It's that one that's got the ring around the top of it for a Jumbotron. It's pretty cool. It's really neat. But anyway, okay, boys and girls, it is time to talk about the heavyweights. The heavyweight matchups this weekend. We've got altogether 6 games this weekend. It's Wildcard Weekends. The only ones that sit out now with the 3 wildcard teams being in it are the 2 1 seeds. The Chiefs and the Detroit Lions will be in their house watching to see who they're going to play. And I do want to, I did pull this up so that we can take a look at how things ended up. I got the predictions for the beginning of the year as to what was going to happen. Knoxter said the division champions in the NFC would be Detroit, Tampa, Dallas.
Ooh, what the fuck did I pick Dallas for?
And San Francisco.
Okay, yeah.
You said the wild card teams would be Philly, the Rams, and Green Bay. So,
all right.
You only missed out on 2 teams.
I mean, who at the time could have seen the Vikings doing what they did, right? Right. They just lost their quarterback.
They had lost their quarterback. They drafted the Michigan guy who was injured, right? So he wasn't going to be playing, and they had to fill the gap with a guy.
The Michigan guy was the injury. That was their quarterback.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was injured, and that's the guy they drafted. But the guy they got as a stopgap, who knew he was going to have the kind of season he was going to have?
I think I expected Philly to regress. That's why I didn't have them in this division.
Right.
Okay. And I never expect anything good from the Commanders.
Yeah, right. And they ended up being the wild card. Yeah.
They're usually on the cusp, but they don't usually make it.
Right. They usually don't get there. But they've got Dan Quinn now. So, they're doing good things there.
And that quarterback that they drafted.
Right. John called Detroit as the division champ. He said New Orleans would win the South. Oops. He did get Philly as the East champ, and he did get the Rams as the Western champ. And he said that the wild card teams would be Green Bay, San Francisco, and Dallas. Now, he screwed up on the wild card teams. He got Green Bay correct, but kind of missed on the wild cards. Myself, I picked Detroit. We all got Detroit right on that one. The South, I picked Atlanta, and they were in the running till the very last week. I picked Dallas. Wow. I mean, look, Philly collapsed so bad last season. If you remember, from week 8 on, they were just horrible. So I didn't think they were going to bounce back. And I picked San Francisco. So I was off on 3 of the 4 division champs. I picked Philly, Los Angeles Rams, and the Seahawks as my wild card teams. So I only got 3 of the 7 right on the NFC side, and yeah, so that was my predictions. Now, knock in the AFC, the North he gave to Baltimore. We all picked Baltimore. We got that one right. Even though the Steelers were in the run until the end, and I can't wait to see the game tonight. That's going to be a fun one. The South, we all picked Houston. That's kind of a no-brainer. You know, they are the
like
best of a heap of crap. You know, I mean, let's see. John and I were drinking the Miami Kool-Aid. Yeah, we fucked that up.
And who did I pick?
You picked the Buffalo Bills. Yeah,
who did I pick? That's right.
Yeah. So actually, we all picked the correct division champs except for me and John picking Miami in the East. So KC, of course, won their division. And then wild cards, Knock had Miami, the New York Jets, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Wow. So he didn't get any of the wild card teams right.
Got all
although
divisions,
2 of them were in the running even the last week. I picked Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and the Chargers. So I got 1 of the 3 right. And then, no. That was John. John picked Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and the Chargers. So he got 1 of those right. I got none of them right because I picked Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and the Jets.
Yeah, wow.
So we didn't get any of the AFC wildcards right. The only one who got one right was John with the Chargers. So going with that knowledge of our prior predictions, let's take a look at the matchups today. Starting at 3:30 this afternoon, we've got the Houston Texans hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. You know, the way the Texans have been playing, I just think Harbaugh's going to run it down their throat and beat this team right there in their own building. I really have a feeling that's what's going to happen. But you see that number right there, that the Texans defense is not to be taken lightly. And that's why I think they're going to run the ball a lot. That's just my personal opinion. That's what I think is going to happen in this one. Oh my God. My man's losing his mind over here. Let's see. I am not a drinker, but the Cowboys, Falcons, and Titans this season make me want to drink. No doubt. Fuck Dean Spanos, Gary Butler. I hear you, man. I know he's mad at the Chargers still, but I just think Jim Harbaugh is going to get him over the hump with his coaching prowess. He's been here, he's done that, and D'Amico Ryans is still trying to get it right down there in Houston. They just faded down the stretch, guys. They had a good game last week, but the 3 previous games, it was bad football coming out of Houston. So that's my thoughts on it. Knock, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I mean, talk about momentum. I think the Chargers have it and the Texans don't. So I don't know. Texans last year ended the Flacco-sance, so who knows? Maybe they can repeat that. You still got Nico Collins, you still got Joe Mixon. Run the damn ball and pass it over the top with the Collins. I don't know if they could do it, but
excuse me, damn.
It's the Texans. It all depends on the Texans.
Yeah.
I think the
Texans
have the edge, though.
Yeah, the Chargers do have the edge, I think. The Texans, if they play to their capabilities, can win. It's just, can they do it? It's just, and what is the deal with NFL putting the Texans on first every year? Is it me, or are they the first game every year? Seems like Saturday afternoon, Wildcard Weekend, they're there every year. Is that because they're the 4 seed every year? Is that why? I don't know. But what do you think, John? You think your division is going to take this one, or what?
Yeah, I give it the Chargers, mainly because this is a war of attrition for both teams.
Yeah.
And Chargers are just way healthier than the Texans are.
Yeah, the Texans, they're probably getting wide receivers off the practice squad at this point. I mean, they're
not the local high school.
What's jacked up is they lost Nico Collins for most of the season. They get him back, and everybody else is hurt now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But you're right. To Knox's point, if they run the ball with Mixon, they'll have a chance.
Yeah.
That's what they're going. Excuse me. That's what they're going to have to do. But I think we're all on board with the Chargers this time around. I just feel like they're a better team, and to Knox's point, they're healthier. They are. Okay, so the next one. This is going to be fun to watch tonight. I'm so glad they're putting this in prime time. The only problem I have with it is on Amazon Prime. I don't think they should have these playoff games on pay services.
I agree.
So we've got the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Steelers. This is round 3 of this great rivalry. I don't remember. Did they split this year, or did Baltimore win both of them? I know they just played, and Baltimore won that one. But who won the first matchup?
I'm looking now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the Ravens won both of them.
So they have to win a third one against them.
No, Steelers won one at least.
Okay.
They won 18-16 on the 17th of November.
Okay. All right.
And
so
the
Ravens
split. And the Ravens in December was 34-17.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of them. Yeah. I remember that. The last time they played, they beat the hell out of them. So this is round 3, and we all know this is, this is right up there with Seattle, San Francisco, KC and the Raiders. It's one of those rivalries, that's must-see television. It really is. I'm looking forward to watching it. I, of course, am pulling for the Steelers because, I'm not a big Ravens fan. I was a Ray Lewis fan. That's who I rooted for when the Ravens had him. But now that he's gone, I could care less about that football team. The Steelers, I'm not a big fan of either. But you know me, I've got a soft spot for Russ, so I'm going to hope that he can channel his inner playoffness again, and get them past at least the Ravens in this round. But we'll see what happens. One thing's for sure, the Pittsburgh defense is going to have to show up big time in this one. If it falls on Russell Wilson to win the game with his arm, then they're screwed. But if they can run the ball and be effective and eat clock, and Pittsburgh's defense can get them off the field quickly, then they'll have a chance. But you see that the numbers over here are just ungodly for the Ravens. They're the number 1 offense, and they run the ball like it's nobody's business. They're number 1 in rushing, so they're really going to have to eat their Wheaties in this one. John, tell me what you think of this one.
Well, I am checking the injury report real quick.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, for sure.
Let's see who's
We
out.
talked about injuries in the Texans game, and I'm pretty sure that the Chargers are healthy. They've got Bosa and everybody.
Yeah.
But the Houston Texans are bleeding wide receivers. Go ahead.
Ravens have less people injured, but
Zay Flowers isn't going to be playing,
out,
which is a big one.
Yeah,
it is.
Their main wide receivers gone for the.
So it's going to be Bateman has been pretty solid, and then of course they still have Mark Andrews. So
and they're
definitely going to try to run the ball.
Yeah, those 2 tight ends, likely in Andrews.
Yeah,
they're going to have to. Yeah,
he kind of fell off when Andrews came back, but
he's still good.
He's still good. So definitely 2 tight end sets, with Bateman on the outside like that. That's going to happen.
See if he remembers to wear white shoes this time.
Look at this, man. It's funny. I saw a picture of that. It was a meme. It said, "I can't believe the playoffs are already here." It seems like just yesterday that Likely was barely out of bounds, and they showed that.
I saw that one too.
Yeah.
Barely counts.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So who you got in this one, buddy?
I'm going to have to go with the Ravens.
Yeah. Okay.
Just, they're going to run the hell out of the ball. That's there's nothing that I don't think the Steelers can stop.
I was fixing to say, would you agree that the Steelers have to be able to stop their running game to win this game?
Yeah, and I don't think they can.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't think it matters. I don't think. I'm not saying. I mean, Zay Flowers is not Nico Collins. He's not.
No, he's not. I was going to say he's their number one threat, but.
Yeah, but he's
not in the league with those guys.
Game. In fact, I think in that Steelers game, didn't he have a big drop in that one on the final
did.
drive?
He had a couple of drops in that game. Yes.
Yeah, he's cost them some games too with his drops. So and killed drives because of it. So I mean, I don't think they're Bateman's solid. Bateman is very solid, and then I don't know who else they have on their team, but they're going to step up. But you got Likely, and you got Andrews as his safety valves, and then you got Derrick Henry in the back. Derrick Henry can actually catch the ball in the back too.
Yeah.
And then they got, I don't know if Justin Hill is injured. I think he was injured last week, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know if they have their backup guy right now, but I don't know. I don't.
Questionable is Harty.
I don't think they're going to obviously try, right? Both teams are going to try to establish the run. The Steelers try to establish. They haven't been able to run since freaking the bus was there.
Right.
So,
but that's their mentality. It's good to see them sticking with
it. They try, but they're going to fail, and it's going to be stuck on Russ,
which is bad. That's not what you want at this point in his career. No.
They're also short two defensive parts. They've got a linebacker and a defensive tackle out.
Well, the only one that matters is Watt.
And he's
on that defense.
He's still playing. Yeah.
So,
but here's the problem for me, Knock. Pickett sucks. Or not, Pickens. That's it.
Pickens. Yeah, that definitely did not have. I mean, that was definitely not a good showing last week for sure. I don't know. This could be a redemption game for him. I don't know, but
we can hope.
Yeah, sometimes you just have a bad game. So, and he was kind of rusty. He'd only been back a week before, so after being out for a while. So
yeah.
But obviously I'm leading Ravens because they're at home, and I think they just have the better team overall. I'm not ready to say that they're going to run all over the Steelers. I think the Steelers defense is really good. I think it's going to be over the top that's going to matter and loosen them up maybe for later in the game. The run game will become a factor, but I think at the start we're going to see a lot of punts.
Yeah. Well, it's if the Steelers have a chance of winning this game, it's going to be like they always do. It's going to be one of those win ugly games. It's going to be, just defensive struggle, turnovers matter, that kind of thing. I'm with you guys. I think the Ravens are going to win this game, but I am pulling for the Steelers.
Well, they got Steelers to get Najee Harris running.
Another factor, too, that we've seen in every single playoffs for the Ravens. Are they going to make Lamar be conservative? It seems as soon as they hit the playoffs, they're like, no, foot off the brake or, foot off the gas. Careful plays, non-risky plays. And then he just becomes muted and then just as a non-factor.
And then when he does have to throw, he's off the mark because he's not in the flow. Yeah,
right.
it's
so that's what we've seen every single year, and he's gotten better every year at passing. But it's like you literally just hit it. Once it gets to the point where he needs to throw, it's just not there because
he hasn't thrown the whole game.
So absolutely, so that's going to be my biggest key of the game. So for the Ravens, start fast. Obviously that's the goal of any football team, obviously, but in the Ravens' case, I think it's most important for them.
It's imperative.
Get Lamar going early, and again, get some
because at this point,
there, get something.
At this point, it's in his head. It's got to be
right. This is a monkey on his back.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten to a Super Bowl. Hey, this is his 9th year, something like that.
So, he's been around a while.
At some point, you need to actually do something.
Shit or get off the pot, as they say.
There's no injuries this year to excuse it. So, and you're on another MVP talk. So come on, man. Even Peyton Manning made it one year.
I don't think he's the MVP, though. I think that distinction.
Dan Orlovsky made a really good case for Josh Allen. I don't know if you heard that.
That's what I was going to say. I'm trying to figure out how to say it without choking, but you said it, so I don't have to say it now.
I still think Saquon Barkley had a better year.
Yeah, well. Let me look. Saquon had some good highlights and everything, but I got to tell you, an average back could probably have a whole lot of yards behind the line that they have there in friggin' Philadelphia. They've got a bunch of maulers.
Yeah, and I don't think they won those games just because.
Don't get me wrong. I'll dig Saquon. I love his attitude. I love everything about him. And that guy, once he's in the open field, you can't catch him. But I got a feeling
if they had a shitty quarterback and no wide receivers, and he was the only, because MVP, right? And this is what Dan Orlovsky was talking about. MVP means you did everything. If you weren't on that team, you would be five and whatever, right? And the Bills without Josh Allen is way different than the Ravens with Derrick Henry, and the defense is pretty decent. They'd at least win a little bit more games than the Bills would without Josh Allen, I think.
Yep.
So that's what Dan was saying.
And you know how big a fan I am of Josh Allen.
Yeah, right.
We all know that. It's documented.
So unfortunately for Josh, he can't make another. Maybe they'll do a Lamar and Josh cover of Madden. Maybe
right.
Maybe that'll be the compromise, right? Because Josh can't be on it himself again, right? It's got to be
right. It's got to be a team up with somebody else. Okay, so we're all on the Ravens on this one. We're all agreeing too much this weekend. What the hell? Oh man.
It's the first round, right?
It's the first round, and they're kind of easy to pick. They really are. Then we've got the return after how many years has it been, buddy?
It's been
since the Peyton Manning days, right?
Yeah,
been a minute.
15.
Yeah, the Broncos are back in the playoffs, and you got to love it. They've figured out the trigger man thing, which has been the downfall ever since Peyton Manning retired. Hell, he was the downfall of the team his last year there when they won a Super Bowl. He wasn't playing that good then. But I love what I'm seeing out of Bo Nix. He's been in the Rookie of the Year talk all the second half of the season with his play. And he has the daunting task of going up to play the eventual MVP, in my opinion, the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. So, and I'm sure it's going to be colder than shit, which doesn't matter to them. What do you got there, Knock? Do you need me to
This is the Broncos right now. This is us.
Yeah.
This is us right now.
Yeah, we made it. And
that's basically us at the moment. So.
I hear you. Let's see. Jeremy still believes that the Broncos gave up on Tim Tebow too soon. Oh, man. Well, hey. I love Jeremy to death, but he's not the greatest sports commentator of all time. That's for sure. But Tebow, Tebow was...
It was a better time.
He was a gamer. He never gave up on shit, but he could not hit the broadside of a barn with a football. He just couldn't. It was like watching a White Kaepernick play. It was just, God, what are you doing? But anyway.
But in those last 5 minutes.
In the last 5 minutes, yeah. He was like Eli Manning. You better pack a lunch and bring some friends because he's going to get you,
I saw the clip the other day of the 3-16 game where against the Steelers.
Yeah.
In the playoff game where it was the first year that the touchdown rule or the field goal rule was implemented after that Green Bay and was it Green Bay and New Orleans Brett Favre famous interception.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so that was interesting. So the Tebow just went off for whatever reason that day, and then one play into overtime throws it to Demaryius Thomas and goes for a touchdown. Pushes Ike Taylor off. It's like, you're not going to stop me. And then they got destroyed by the Patriots.
That's okay. They got smoked by the Patriots. But hey, they got one playoff win.
They got one, and it was against the Steelers, who were the defending champions, I think, at that time.
They got rid of the defending champs, which is what everybody wanted anyway. So, okay. But this game, we've got the Broncos going into Buffalo. This is the first game on Sunday. I believe kickoff's at 12 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Weather report, I don't really know, but I know it's going to be cold up there. I don't know if it's supposed to be snowing or not, but I don't think that matters for either one of these teams. They both play in cold climates, so that doesn't really matter. What matters to me is can the Broncos come up with a running game? Because that's what it's all going to depend on, and they're just not known for the running game right now. It's all Bo Nix and what he can do. Josh Allen gives them both. He gives them the running game, but Cook shows up in spots and just, and I think it's because they're paying so much attention to what Josh Allen's doing. If you notice, a lot of the plays that he gets a lot of yards on are right up the middle draw plays. I mean, they're paying attention to Josh Allen almost every down, and they just forget about the running back sometimes.
The weather.
Sorry? What's that?
The weather's supposed to be 30 to 35 degrees.
Okay.
A gentle wind. No precipitation.
Well, that's good. Be above freezing, but it's still gonna be cold as fuck.
Yeah.
It's Orchard Park, man. It's gonna be cold. I like this number right here. But the thing is, and I've been watching all year long. You've got to keep that guy hemmed in. You can't let him get underneath the rush, and because he's going to kill you. He'll break your back with those runs he does. And the other thing I want to see in this game, I'm going to be very interested to see if they get flags for roughing the passer along the sideline, because that tends to happen a lot. But you got who I think is the MVP up against your Broncos. Tell us about it, Knock. What do you think?
Honestly, I think this could end up being similar to the Broncos and Ravens game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Broncos will do everything they can to stop the run and letting Josh out of the pocket. Yeah. However, the secondary won't be able to keep up with the wide receivers and tight ends, and the secondary will get crushed. So, and that's what happened in the Ravens game. We actually did pretty well against the run, but they would just get thrown over the top. The linebackers were all, up on the line to stop the run. And so they were right behind you, just toss it over their heads. And Josh Allen is tall enough to where he could do that. I don't know if we'll see unless he throws darts. You're not going to see as many batted balls down as there would from, say, a Bo Nix, who's a little shorter. So, I don't know. I don't know if our run game is going to go. We have a committee. We don't really have a dedicated runner. We just go with who has the hot hand, and we generally don't have one. Sometimes even Bo Nix is.
You need Scattaboo, dude. That's who you need.
So,
oh yeah.
I'm hoping we get Genty, but that's just me. But I think.
Oh, you're talking about the Boise State guy, yeah?
Oh yeah. I think it'd be perfect. But So and plus I think we're going. I think we're going to go tight end first round, but who knows?
Yeah.
But I mean, can the defense? I think we're going to need our real chances to get I think you would appreciate this quote. Will the real Josh Allen please stand up? And you would enjoy every minute of it.
Fucking mistakes, right?
Yeah, we're gonna need it. He's just been playing so good lately. We've been waiting for it, but it just hasn't happened. It happened maybe like once, every couple games. But I think 2 of the games that they lost in. But other than that, he's been amazing. So he's been MVP like. So I don't know. We are the NFL leading sack leaders. So
I want to see Zach Allen have a big day, bro. Come on.
Zach Allen, Cooper.
They do have a good front, man. They do.
It's just going to depend. I think you kind of mentioned it earlier with running up the middle. I think our outside guys will get so far out, and then our linemen in the middle will get stretched as well, and Josh Allen will just run up the middle. And
that's where coaching comes in right there. If you've got to contain him. You can't get past him. If they can coach up these defensive ends, what I would do, this is just me, I would rush 3 up the middle, right? I don't know. Do you run a 4-3 or 3-4? I think you run a 4-3 there now, right? You got 4 down, 3 linebackers, usually.
I don't really
believe that's what you run. But what I would do is I'd have a nose tackle and 2 defensive ends, big guys, right up the middle, and then 2 linebackers coming in from the outside but staying level with the quarterback. The key is to stay level. You can't get past him. He has to be in. They have to be in his vision. As soon as he can't see somebody on either side, he goes in that direction. He knows he can do it because he can outrun them all. So the key is to stay level, and it's on your coaching staff. If they can do that,
I think the
they've got a
problem with
chance.
that is it takes away from the rushing capabilities, which if they don't rush him, they give him all day back there. He's going to rip them apart in the pass
Yeah.
game. So
Mhm.
I think they're going to take chances and probably give up a lot of yards, but the goal is going to be to bend, not break. Don't let them get touchdowns, kind of thing. And on the offense, try to score touchdowns. Try to get points.
Yeah.
Keep it close in the fourth quarter. Let Bo Nix keep it close if you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Please don't throw more than. Don't wait until the fourth quarter to throw over 10 yards.
Right.
I know Sean Payton likes the screens, and it may work against the Kansas City Chiefs backups, but they use that like so many times in that game. I'm like, dude, this is not going to work against an actual defense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just I know he likes their screens, and I like Mims. I like Mims a lot, but when you play a real defense, not backups, those screen plays aren't nearly as good. They don't go for touchdowns as often.
Yep. You're right about that. So who are you picking?
I mean, I'm picking the Bills because it's at home and then they got the MVP. But obviously, I'm rooting for my Broncos. So
of course you are. Of course you
I
are.
I can separate.
We expect nothing less. But yeah. Okay, John, what do you think of this one?
I think it's the playoffs, and we all know how Josh Allen is in the playoffs.
So
against the Chiefs.
Let me say this real quick, because Knock kind of touched on it. If they come up with some great, blitz packages, in other words, some zone blitzing that will throw him off, you're right. That could be fucking awesome. It really could, because when he has to throw under pressure, his decision making is not the greatest in the world. It's really not. It's proven over time. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
I'm going to call this trap game.
Yeah, could be.
I'm going to call the Broncos.
Okay.
Over the Bills.
Okay. I'm not. I'm not willing to do that. I'm gonna say Buffalo, but I am pulling big time for the Denver Broncos, no doubt. And look who has decided to join us halfway through the show. It is he who shall be named.
There are some who call me Tim.
And apparently, Tim turns 43 tomorrow. Happy birthday, brother, a day early. Very cool, man. Very cool. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Yeah, everybody in the world, I think, is pulling for the Broncos, except for Cowboys fans and Bills fans. There's no two bigger fan bases of the Buffalo Bills that I've ever seen than Dallas Cowboys fans, because they feel really, guilty about smoking them twice in the Super Bowl in a row. And the Buffalo Bill fans themselves. So, And Keely Chow says happy birthday to Tim as well. One thing's for sure, Knock, if they can figure out a plan to keep that guy in the pocket and lessen his running, the better. That you're going to be better off that way, because if they can do that, they're also going to cage up Cook. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's kind of a byproduct of that. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, but man, I really hope to see Bo Nix have a great game.
And again, we're just happy to be here, guys. We don't even care if we win this game, honestly. Broncos fans,
house money, baby.
We were slated to get four wins at the start of the season, so no one expected us to be here. And a lot of people complained about the win over the Chiefs, but hey, man, we won nine other games. So
yep. Hey, it's great, man. It's good to see him back in the playoffs. And I think that the upside is great. You're just getting started with Sean Payton. This is only his second year.
We have a window right now where we have a quarterback on the rookie contract.
Get some people around him and let's go.
Get a couple more weapons, shore up the defense. A little bit. I think we need a little bit more in the secondary. Another playmaker at safety. If we had a Brian Dawkins back there.
Come
or
on,
something like
that's
that.
the wish
Like,
list, right?
like, or even like back when we had the no fly zone, we had Ward back there. Like, we need something
Mm-hmm.
like that. We need a hard hitter back
Yeah.
there to make them pay, and then
Mm-hmm.
couple that with Sutton, and then a really good, you know, Luke Kuechly type of linebacker, then that just is a tackle machine.
Mm-hmm.
Then this defense can be really good. So there's a couple pieces I think we can. And when we get rid of that dead cap money, oh,
Yeah,
man.
right. Hello. Yeah, that's what's
Let's make
impressive.
some play.
That their cap space is for
82
shit
in
this
dead
year,
money, you
and they're
think, right now?
still in the
82 mil?
playoffs. Yeah, that's amazing. That's really cool, man. It's really good to see. Okay, so that is the start of Sunday.
That's
The
all the
second
AFC
game-
teams.
The second. Oh yeah, that's right. That's all the AFC teams. That's kind of weird. They're playing nothing but AFC, and then it's going to be nothing but NFC after that. Kind of wild. Next one is going to be John's eventual NFC winner on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's the Green Bay Packers, who can't seem to beat anyone in their division. Matter of fact, who was it they beat once in their division this year? Was it Minnesota they beat? No, I think Minnesota swept them.
No, they lost to.
They lost to the Eagles, but they also lost 5 games in their division. And there's one team that beat them in their division. I can't remember which one it is.
The Bears.
The Bears did beat them. That's right. The Bears beat them.
Last game of the regular season.
It. Yeah. The Bears beat them. Yeah.
They did beat the Bears once.
Yeah, but Detroit and Minnesota swept them, and the Bears got them once, and then the Eagles got them. So they're not losing to slouches except for Chicago. But I don't know. I'm not seeing enough out of Green Bay, man. It seems like when they play teams that are have a winning record, they struggle. And I just, they're a young team. They're doing really good things there. But Jordan Love, that's his name.
Yeah.
For some reason, Lovie Smith's name came through my head. I think because we were talking about Chicago. But anyway, Jordan Love, just ever since he got nicked up, he just doesn't look right to me. And he's got some talented guys out there catching the ball and stuff, but they're getting nicked up too. The Eagles, they rested everybody. Their third string quarterback looked like he could go out and win a playoff game. McKee, now he wasn't playing top talent at the time, but as long as they don't have to lean on Kenny Pickett, they should be okay. Everybody's rested up. Saquon's ready to go. I just don't see any way the Packers are going to win this game. They're going to run it down their throat. They're going to eat the clock. It's going to be like watching a glacier just roll over nature. You know what I mean? John, what do you think of this?
I'm wishing the Packers would have drew anybody but the Eagles for their.
Say again?
I said I wish they would have gotten anybody but the Eagles for their
first game out. Yeah.
So, but I can't not pick the Eagles as much as I want the Packers to go all the way so we can have a repeat of the first Super Bowl. The Eagles are just too strong. I mean, Saquon Barkley's just going to run all over them.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen. Knock, do you see any way Green Bay is going to win this game?
I mean, they took them to the end in the first game. It's kind of interesting. This is a pretty interesting rematch.
Yeah.
Not very often you get rematches like this outside of division. So Christian Watson's out for the Packers. He got hurt last week, carted off. He's out for the season. So I don't know. It's going to be getting interesting to see how that offense operates. You still have Josh Jacobs, but he's going against the number 1 defense. And you have Saquon Barkley going against the top 5 defense. So, something's got to give. I think it's going to be up to the wide receivers for the Eagles, where the Packers are kind of beat up. So, I don't know. I think the edge right now, especially at home, is leaning on the Eagles. But, I mean, really, the Packers have only been losing to their, division.
Yeah.
And the Eagles. So
And the Eagles.
Who knows? Who knows?
Right?
So I don't know. I'm leaning Eagles though. I have no idea how this game's gonna go though.
Yeah. I just think that Saquon is going to be the difference maker in this one. I don't think he should be considered the MVP above Josh Allen in what they've done this year. Because look, I don't know how you guys were, but the two teams I wasn't expecting much out of this year was the Minnesota Vikings because they were losing their trigger man, and the Buffalo Bills because they got rid of half of their fucking defensive roster before the season even started. And, it's turned out to be Josh Allen carrying them through, So I just think that Saquon's going to be the difference in this one. And Jalen Hurts, he's not the greatest quarterback in the world, but he has one of the best deep ball receivers in football, and A.J. Brown. And my gosh, when he does have to throw it, as long as he doesn't, get in that habit of throwing high balls, he does that occasionally. I think a key for the Eagles is to have him throw some passes early to get him in the flow of the game, not just hand it off constantly at the beginning, which is what the Eagles tend to do. They tend to try and get him loosened up at the beginning of the game. We're all sitting there going, why aren't you just running the ball? But I think that's why they do it, is to get his arm loosened up, just to get him on target a little bit. Look, Jordan Love's better than advertised. He's got a big arm. That dude right there is he's a big dude. He's got a big arm, but I just have a feeling that the Eagles at home are going to be too much for this team. Myself, I'm going to Eagles, and I think you two are picking them too. So yeah. Am I pulling for the pack? No.
I am.
I can't. Well, I know you are. That's your. You want to see a rematch of Super Bowl I. I know, and you want to win it this time. I know.
Yeah,
I understand. You want revenge for Super Bowl I. I get that, but I can't stand either one of these franchises. I really can't. My optimal thing to happen here would be as many injuries as possible before the next game.
The only thing I can actually accurately predict about this game is that a team in green is going to win.
A team in green will win. Yes, absolutely. Anything else you want to say about this one, Knock?
No, not really.
Yeah, it's. I think if there's. I think the last two we talked about are probably the biggest lopsided ones. It's going to take a maximum effort from the opposing teams coming in to win. It really is. This one here. This one's going to be Sunday night.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels has been the most pleasant surprise this year in the NFL. It really, really has been. My brother was preaching how good this guy was because, he bleeds purple and gold. He loves his LSU Tigers. And he told me when this guy got to the next level, he was going to do some cool stuff. And, there's comparisons to Lamar and stuff like that, but I don't feel that way. I don't. Yeah, he's got wheels, but he doesn't use them as much as Lamar does. They have a few read option plays, but he does it more with his arm. And the thing that's impressive to me is how cool under pressure this guy is. It just looks like he's having fun out there no matter what's happening, and he's never flustered. The Commanders have been fun to watch. Now they're playing, my son from Oklahoma,
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield and them Buccaneers. I think the two teams that paid their quarterbacks in the offseason that are probably the most happy are the Buccaneers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati didn't make the playoffs, but it wasn't Joe Burrow's fault. And the Buccaneers won their division. It went down right to the end of the season. They had their ups and downs. They've they're kind of like Houston. They've had their wide receivers get hurt during the season, but I'm pretty sure going into the last week of the season, Baker was leading the NFL in touchdown passes, wasn't he? I think he was. He had over 40. So this is going to be a fun game to watch. I think we're going to see fireworks. Go ahead. No?
I had a question for you. Do you agree with them going for it up by 7 and going for a pass to Mike Evans to get him that $3 million at the end of the game.
Yes, I thought that was a great moment. I really thought that was great because not only that, it wasn't
Mr. Conservative
wasn't just
himself.
that. Oh wait! That was earlier in the game, right?
No,
that was
it
to
the
get
last.
No,
that was-
no.
they already won the game.
They were
Instead of-
no. They did not. They did not win the game. They were up by 7. If something happened and there was a pick 6 or a fumble return for a touchdown, it would have tied up the game. The game could have been tied up if something disastrous happened on that play. Especially if you think they're going to pass it. Honestly, I don't know why they didn't triple team freaking Mike Evans and stop.
Yeah, I don't know what the defense was doing. So we are talking about the play he broke.
I'm talking. It's the last play of the game.
Matched.
That was the last play of the game.
Okay, so we're talking about the play where he matched Jerry Rice's 11 years in a row with 1,000 yards.
Yep.
And yes, I agreed with it, dude. I did. First of all, Baker wouldn't have thrown it unless the guy was open. That's for sure. He wouldn't have done that. I mean, I'm sure he was told before they went out there, throw it to him, but don't do anything stupid. But yeah, I wanted to see him get it, and I thought it was a great moment when he did because that place blew up, man. It was awesome. It was really cool. I thought it was cool as hell. Usually I wouldn't. I'd be like, run the football and be done with it, but that is something I wanted to see him get for sure. Mike Edwards, he's been doing it for a long time, and he deserved that. So.
Especially because at that time, the Falcons were going into the overtime.
Overtime. It was going to overtime over there. Yeah.
So they didn't know if they actually
nothing
won
was
the
set
game
in stone yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I like you. I like the incentives.
Yeah, I'm defensive minded, and I would have said run the football. But in that instance, when you had a guy about to make history,
if it was
it's kind of
Madden.
like, look, I don't think they should have sat Saquon. I don't think they should have. They should have given him the opportunity to get that record.
Yep.
Yeah, they didn't need the game. I understand that. But the chances of a running back getting hurt behind that line was a lot less than most teams would have, and he's been doing it all year.
And he could have gotten it before the end of the half too.
He could have easily. Yeah. Why they took him off the field in the last game kind of bothered me. They took him off the field late in that game. Why not kill the clock and get him a few more yards closer? I did. But anyway, getting back to this matchup. But yes, Knock, that in a regular game I'd have said, "What the fuck are you doing?" But the chance at history, give the guy the chance. Okay, so
I also think the opponents kind of let them do it.
It looked that way.
Nobody
did look that way.
I would have been like, screw that.
Yeah. If I was the Saints head coach, I would be like, whatever you do, don't let Mike Edwards catch the football.
Panthers.
Or was it the Panthers? They were playing the Panthers?
The Saints were playing the Falcons.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I knew the division rivals were playing each other. I couldn't remember who was playing who.
I was going to say, nobody covered Mike Evans. And I'm like, okay, they're going to
well, they put trips to that side. They had the guys crossing in front of him, too. He just stepped back and caught the ball. It was kind of a wide receiver screen.
Well, he went forward, though. It's not like he didn't go anywhere and then caught the ball. He went forward about 4 or 5 yards and then caught the ball.
Yeah. And then he got like 3 after that. I know it was a total of 8 yards he got on that play. Yeah. But, yeah, hey, give it to him. Give him the chance. But this game here, this is going to be a fun game. Did they play in the regular season? I don't remember if they did or not.
They did, I think.
They did? Who won the game?
I don't remember.
We need to look that up. As far as this one goes, you guys know I'm rooting for the Buccaneers. And really, on paper, the Buccaneers should win this game because their defense is pretty good. And, I mean, I don't know. Baker cannot keep up with anybody as far as scoring. So it's going to be it. Go ahead, sir.
Buccaneers won 37-20 on September 8th.
It was the first game of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of time.
Another matchup that's the first game year repeat, huh? Wow. Well, a lot's changed since then. Washington's got a better record than the Buccaneers, and we know that Jaden Daniels has steadily improved all season. I think, I think it's going to be a typical Washington game. I think Washington will probably win this game, and it's going to come down to the last time they have the ball. I think the last team that has the ball wins this game. And I think Washington, if any road team has a chance of winning, but we talked about LA earlier, I think they have a chance to win this one. But man, it's going to be tough because Baker loves to fucking keep up with the other team as far as touchdowns go.
What
So,
what are the Vegas odds on the Commanders winning in a Hail Mary? Is there odds?
Right?
Anyone check Vegas?
Check Vegas real quick for Hail Mary for the Washington Commanders. Let me see this real quick. I missed out on this by Keely Chow. He said, I can't stand Eagles or Packers because I can't stand Philly teams or Wisconsin teams. Okay. I like Jalen Hurts because he spent most of his college career playing for Alabama. Roll Tide.
Yeah, and
look, he played for Oklahoma, and I'm not a fan of him. Okay. I'm just not a fan of Hurts. So I have not been a fan. So, hey. But I think this is going to be a Commanders game. I think it's going to be one of those ones where they're losing by 3 or 4 points at the end of the game, and Jaden Daniels is going to take them down. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, who am I rooting for? I'm rooting for Baker Mayfield. That's my brother from another mother. I'm going to be rooting for him all the way down. John, what do you think of this one, and who's going to win?
Well, you've got who is probably going to be the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty much run away with it at this point.
There was a time there in November where he was losing it to Bo Nix for a while.
Yeah, there was. There was a time it could have very, very easily been Bo Nix.
But it has turned around to his side here in the last month. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think the Commanders are gonna pull it out. But I'm rooting for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just think Baker's great. I love him. Knock. What do you think of this one? You're in the Washington area.
Yeah.
Do you agree with us, or you think Baker's going to run away with it?
It's tough, man. They're too inconsistent.
Are you talking about the Commanders or both teams?
No, the Buccaneers. Commanders are 12 wins. They're consistent. They're fine. Yeah. I don't know. I think the defense of the Commanders is underrated. Like they're pretty decent, and
they got a future Hall of Famer, a quarterback in that defense.
So I don't know. So to me, I feel like I'm leaning towards the Commanders. Who knows what we get from them? Sometimes the Bucs offense just disappears for no reason. Mike Evans starts dropping balls, so he got his $3 million. So what does he got to do now?
Yeah,
he's won a Super Bowl. I don't know. So I feel like it's going to be kind of a letdown on the offense, a little drop in offense because of that. So
I think I'm hearing the more hungry team is the Washington Commanders. Is that what I'm hearing?
I just think they're more consistent. I think the Buccaneers, the Buccaneers should have locked up that division several games ago,
right?
And yet kept the Falcons in it because they lost dumb
You're
games.
You're right.
And I feel because of the win last week, this is up and down, so this will be a down week kind of thing. So I don't know.
Okay, well there you have it, boys and girls. We're picking the Commanders, all of us. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Okay, last game of the week is on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I probably won't be watching much of this one.
Well, okay, I got a few things to say about this before we start picking this. First of all, why did the Rams rest their people last week?
I don't know.
I don't understand it.
Seeding?
Or were they saying they wanted a rematch with the Vikings? Is that what they were saying? I mean,
I guess
it is very strange to me. Very strange. I don't know. It really made me wonder what the hell was going on, because they could have leapfrogged the Buccaneers and gotten Washington instead. Are they saying they'd rather see Sam Darnold than Jaden Daniels? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But we saw Mr. Darnold get pressed last week And he didn't, they say pressure can create diamonds, but it burst pipes for the Minnesota Vikings last week. No doubt in my mind. That pressure is what got them. And I don't think LA was not paying attention. I think, well, first of all, I think we can all agree they, in trying to make up for the loss of Aaron Donald to retirement, they have done a good job rebuilding their front line on defense. The secondary and linebackers are questionable for the Rams, but all they have to do is be smart for a couple of seconds, because these guys are going to eat your ass up on the front line if you have to throw. And you've got Matthew Stafford, who's won a Super Bowl with arguably the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL. And both of them are playing. So, and of course, on the other side, you got Sam Darnold and his guy that we didn't see much of last week, Mr. Jefferson, because of what the Detroit Lions' plan was, which was to send everybody they had, go zero blitz, and just scare the shit out of him, and it worked. I mean, he was giving it up at quite a clip. I don't know. After watching them last week, that defense of the Vikings is really, really good. I love Van Ginkel. He's my favorite player on that defense. They've got a good pass rush. I just don't know, man. Something tells me. Now, before you go picking, I do want to make you aware they're not playing this game in SoFi. They have moved this game to Arizona because of the LA wildfires.
So it's a neutral stadium.
Yeah, so it's a neutral field. So I'm sure we're going to have more LA representation because of where
let's not pretend that the fan base of either Los Angeles teams is very good. So I mean,
no,
there was no home field advantage to be set here. So let's get that straight first.
I just feel like after watching I mean, look, Kevin O'Donnell's a really good coach, and maybe he's got some blitz beaters that are going to work. But man, Aaron Donald did not look good when he had to take time to make a decision last week under pressure. It did not look good at all. I just got a feeling the Rams are going to.
Darnold, not you said Aaron Donald.
Did I say Aaron Donald? I'm sorry. Sam Donald didn't play well last week, and I just got a feeling the Rams are going to. Hell, they don't even have to blitz to get that kind of pressure on him. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. I'm picking the Rams in this one. Believe it or not. I mean, I know the Vikings are 14-3. They've been good all year, but boy, that game last week against Detroit, it really exposed. They're going to have to run the football a lot to win this game. They're going to have to run, because if they get in third and longs, it's not going to look good. It's not going to look good. But then again, the Rams secondary is suspect. So if they can come up with some way to block things up for him and he can get it to Justin Jefferson, it could go the totally other way. I just feel like going into the playoffs the way they did, it's got to be in Darnold's head first of all, it's got to be in his head. And Matthew Stafford, I don't think anybody. He's kind of like the Joe Burrow of the NFC. I don't think anybody really wants to play him right now. He's playing like he's 20 years old again. So I know they didn't score a lot of points in the last few victories they had, but they did have victories down the stretch, and they were smart victories. They did all the right things to win those games. So I'm picking the Rams in this one. What do you think, Doc?
I would like to point out that Matthew Stafford did remember he's not 26 when he ran.
Yes! It was such a beautiful thing. Boys and girls, the most important thing for a quarterback is to be available for your team. You guys, you youngsters that keep running towards the sideline and are lowering your shoulder. Yo, Tua, did you watch what friggin' Matthew Stafford did last week? He was in the wide open and he saw somebody coming at him. He said, nah, I don't think so. Let me get down. Yes, that was fantastic, John. It really was. Knock, what do you think of this one?
I don't know. It's kind of tough to say. I think Rams are the model of inconsistency as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm gonna lean Vikings just because they've won so many games. I still think they're the same team. Yeah, they got a little beat up by the Lions, but so is a lot of other teams. So I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
gonna, I'm not gonna fault them for losing to the Lions. So I mean, um, I don't know. The Rams with their weapons is always going to be good, but I think the Vikings can do better. I think they have a better defense. They can cause more havoc for Stafford.
Mhm.
Darnold has been pretty consistent for the most part. Obviously, it was one game. He didn't, but I don't know. I'm leaning Vikings.
Okay. All right. John, what you got?
Question is, who has the better receiving core? Not just the star, because let's face
The
it,
best player on the field is number 18 for the Vikings. Yeah.
yeah,
We know
Justin
that.
Jefferson's probably the best wide receiver in football right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think as a tandem, Puka and Cup are better than a double coverable single back or single wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Rams.
I think the difference in the game, if the Vikings are going to win it, it's going to be their tight end. And he's, what's his name, Knock? Starts with an H, right?
Hawkins something.
Hawkinson.
That's it. They're gonna. That's how they're gonna have to loosen it up for Jefferson. They're gonna have some mid-range shit to him. I think. I mean, Addison's good too. Don't get me wrong. They've got good wide receivers for the Minnesota Vikings. It's just, I think the key is getting pressure on Darnold, and he's going to have pressure on him today. He's going to have pressure on him. Even if they just rush 4, they're going to get to him today. Yeah. They've got to run the football if they're going to win. They've got to slow down their pass rush. That is number one in my mind. But go ahead, John. What else you got for that one?
Well, that was it. Like I said, I think it's going to be. It's too easy to take Jefferson out of the equation because he's a single. They don't. Addison's good, but he's not as good as Puka.
Too easy. I don't know about that. Too easy to take out a star wide receiver. I don't know. I feel like you can get him open if you wanted to.
They got Jamar Chase open.
Yeah, they did.
You know, I mean, there's ways to do it.
Talking about the best wide receiver in the NFL, one of them. So I mean, is it calling it? I just think calling it too easy is a disservice to him.
They had the best wide receiver in the NFL last week, and he caught like 2 balls.
Yeah.
I mean, and every time a ball got near him, they had 2 guys right there and beat him up. So, I'm telling you that footage from Detroit is going to be used.
But I don't think it was easy to do that though.
Well, as beat up as they were, they blitzed every down, and you saw the effects of it. And they're a beat up defense. They don't have their stars. They've got one in the secondary, Branch, and that's it. Everybody else is backups on the team, pretty much. Now, they did get one of their linebackers back. The guy that was covering Hawkinson played above and beyond in that game for Detroit. What was his name? Starts with an A. I can't remember his name. But he's a hippie like Van Ginkel is on the other side. Long blonde-haired dude. But anyway, so...
Avalon or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. So Knox got to Minnesota. John, who you got?
I got the Rams.
Yeah, I got the Rams too. I think the Rams are going to get them. So, yeah, that'll wrap it up on Monday Night Football. So, we've got a long stretch of football on every day. The last 2 days have not disappointed. I got a feeling some of these games are going to disappoint. We're going to get 1 or 2 blowouts in here, I think. I just hope the Broncos-Bills one isn't one of them. I think the Philly game, I think they're going to destroy who they're playing. I think they're going to destroy the Packers. But I just hope Denver shows up against freaking Buffalo. I really do. Oh, my gosh. I agree he's going to be the MVP this year, but, man. Please, let's bring his football IQ to bear in this game, Denver. Can we do that? Can we house him in and make him make throws from the pocket and, make bad decisions like he's opt to do? But anyway, I think the game of the weekend is going to be the one that's on tonight. I think the Pittsburgh Ravens game is going to be just a lot of fun to watch, man. I really do. I think that's going to be fun for sure. Knock, any final words about this wild card weekend or the college football playoff for that matter?
No, not really.
Just go Broncos, right?
Just,
the logo, the avatar says it all, right?
Yeah, just kind of. We'll see what happens. I'm not expecting a lot. Like I said, we're just happy to be here, and finally back in the playoffs. And after what was supposed to be not a great season, it was a rookie, coming out.
Rookie quarterback.
The last rookie quarterback drafted in the first round. The bottom of the 6 that were drafted, and now he's showing in a top 2 of that class. When given a chance, so. And we put him in right away. It wasn't really a competition. They tried to call it a competition, but I think Sean Payton knew right away that he was going to make him start, and it was slow in the beginning. He had a lot to learn. To start the season, we started out 0-2, and then they ended up at 0-2. They went and beat Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
that kind of changed the season a little bit. We still took them a few more weeks to get the offense going, but it was funny. The game that got me the most, like, hey, we might have something here, was the blowout with the Ravens, because in that game, what it doesn't show in the score, because we didn't score the points, was there was a lot of turnover on downs in their territory, because we were trying to score touchdowns, right? Field goals were not going to win that game. Right. They scored like 44 points, so we needed to go for it. But we were moving the ball in that game. Like you could just see it. There was just something different with that offense where it just felt better. And so when they came the week after, I think they won the game the week after that. And ever since then, the offense just got better and better and better every week. And there was less 3 and outs. There's still some, which annoys the shit out of me, 3 and out. Nothing confounds me more than a shitty play on third and short after a timeout. Like, that just ruins my day.
After a timeout, you should get a yard, right?
Like, you tell me you can't find a play So, but no, the offense just gotten better every week. So I think there's a chance. I think if our defense can make some plays, then we have a chance. And we have the number 1 sack defense. I just hope they show up. So we have a chance. That's all.
Yep. I tell you what, Bo Nix had one of the best Novembers I've ever seen out of a rookie. He really, they had a stretch there, 2 or 3 games where they scored over 30 points every week, and it was pretty cool to see. It was good. I got to tell you, this season, I'm happy Geno made his $6 million on the last game of the season. Wow, he hit every one of those marks and got his $6 million.
Oh, did he? I didn't even.
He got all 3 of them, man. Yeah, he did. They beat the Rams. Of course, the Rams were playing their backups, though. I still don't understand that. They must have said, let's see, Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, give me Darnold. Like, I really don't understand why the Rams rested the people. I don't get it. But, that's what they decided to do. But as far as the season goes, I liked what I saw out of the Seahawks. It's the first year for us, like it was the first year for Peyton there in Denver last year. Mike McDonald was working with what he had, and he did fine. We were in the division race all the way to the end of it. But looking forward to see what they're going to do. If I want to see them get a young quarterback and start grooming him behind. It's obvious they're going to keep Geno for a little bit because they just signed him to an extension.
Yeah. Please change the stupid division rules, please. No one outside of a mathematician gave a shit about the strength of victory of teams that they didn't play.
Yeah, that was very strange, wasn't it?
I would have much preferred a coin flip if I was a Seattle fan.
Do it like baseball does it.
Well,
Have another game if you need to.
I don't want to do anything that baseball does, and that can't happen in the NFL.
They'd have to extend it. They'd have to have a bye week for everybody just to have that one game, right?
Logistically, that's just not possible.
It's
But
not.
that rule or that whatever that was just dumb.
Just flip a coin.
It made no sense to anybody. Only, like I said, only a mathematician would have cared about that. Like, that's the only person that made that up was someone with numbers.
Well, I think the right team got in, though. I do think the right team got in because we didn't beat them this year. I mean, when they had their people on the field, we lost.
I think if it would have mattered and then they beat them, then it would have
earned
it. But
it's a shame. You're absolutely right. It's a shame they were playing for nothing
because of some obscure freaking thing. That very frustrating on that one. And I'm, this is more of an off-season thing, but I'm still praying for the end of the onside kick. I'm done with it. I think it's a stupid thing. It's so low percentage that it's not fun. I think giving a team a chance to come back in the fourth quarter is nothing but good.
The Seahawks rode one of those to the Super Bowl, bro.
No,
Saints.
No.
Saints.
I'm not talking. No, Joe, you're missing my point. I'm not talking about the chance of getting the ball back. I'm talking about the onside kick itself. I think it should be 4th and 12th or 4th and 15, 4th and 20 if you want to make it whatever. But rather than an onside kick, they have a chance to get a first down. That's what I want.
I hear you.
Rather than an onside kick.
Yeah.
I feel like more teams would come back and win and be much more exciting if you could get the ball back in the fourth quarter without the other team ever seeing the ball again. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Okay. You go, man.
You don't agree? You wouldn't want that at all?
No, I don't. I don't want that in the game.
Why would you not want that?
I want my kickoff back. I don't like these changes. I don't like them at all.
Well, that's a different story, right? That's different though. That's the onside kick isn't the kickoff. It's an onside kick. That's a recovery formation. You're talking about the regular.
The change in the kickoff has made the onside kick moot.
Well, that's different because they have to. No, not really. I mean, yeah, it made it a surprise onside kick one, but at the end of the game.
Thank you. That's the whole point of that play.
No, it's not. It's not the whole point. Now, it is a surprise. Yes, it did. Would we not get the Saints doing it in the Super Bowl against the Colts anymore? Yes, that's true. However, we would have more teams coming back from behind, I believe, if we had a different way for them to get the ball back rather than the lowest possible percentage play ever in the history of anything of getting the ball back.
Well, if you want to do it that way,
and it's been tested.
You make it 4th and 25, not 12.
That's fine. I'd be fine with that.
It has to be an ungodly number.
And I'm fine with that. I would still much rather trust Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce over a kicker doing something that they barely practice. That's all I'm saying. 3 phases
of the game, baby. 3 phases of the game.
I mean,
look at the kicking this year. It sucks. This has got to be the worst year for kicking. Would you not agree, guys? Place kickers, They have looked shit this year. They have looked horrible. They really have. There's 3 phases to a football game, man.
I don't think onside kick should be considered a part of that special teams, thing.
And the Saints and Seahawks would disagree with you.
But they could see, John or Joe. You're talking about stuff that you're telling me that Russell Wilson wouldn't have had a chance on 4th and 15 in that game as well. Like that still couldn't have happened that they came back in that game if the rules were different. Like, come on, we don't know. But if you look at it's been tested, Joe. They're testing this in the USFL and the XFL right now, and it's brought in some really good games. And I think if it got brought to the NFL, it would change games as we know it. It would give teams that are behind a chance to come back. It would make the end of the game more exciting. And why would we not want that? Just because for the integrity of onside kicks.
It's pro football.
And?
So
just make it
if you don't
why do we have a competition
if you don't want to lean on
why do we have a competition
play and you don't want to lean on an onside kick,
you can still do the onside kick.
Win it. Play better than the other team. Get more points.
I feel like if you're going to have a competition committee, having a way that changes the competition at the end of the game is worth at least talking about.
Look, man, I'm going to watch football no matter what they do, but I don't like the kickoff they have now.
That one's a little weird.
I
Yeah,
don't
that
like
one's kind of whatever.
both teams. I don't like both teams having the fucking ball in overtime. I don't like that. It's pro football.
That was a battle you lost a
death
long time
in
ago.
overtime.
The Josh Allen rule.
You want to, the Josh Allen rule that hasn't benefited him once. He's had 5 cracks at it and it hasn't paid off for him yet. No. They can keep changing it. I just like the old rules better. That's just me, though. You know.
Yeah,
I'm an old guy.
By itself, I just think the onside kick is useless, and I don't think
it is now, definitely. With the way they got the kickoff set up now, yeah, it is stupid. You're absolutely right. If they're going to keep the kickoff they have now, which looks like they're going to, you're right. They should go to a 4th and 25. Do I like it? Fuck no. I don't like it at all. But that's just me.
I mean, at the end of I don't think there's any different. And when it comes to the kickoff at the end of the game, I don't think it really makes a difference because it's not like you don't know they're going for an onside kick at the end of the game if they're down by a touchdown. And there's no timeouts and there's no chances of getting the ball back if they don't do an onside kick. That's the scenario I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. And all these changes they're making them. They keep saying it's for the safety of the players. That's not why they're making.
Well, they're
making them to get higher and higher scores. They're making them to give lower teams better chances.
Which is what this would do.
Don't even get me started on this, man, because you know what? It has everything. You want to know what it has to do with? Has everything to do with gambling. That's what it has to do with. That's what it has to do with.
That's true.
So,
no, I ain't arguing that.
So
one.
I don't like the reasons why they're doing it. They can say it's player safety all day long. Horse shit.
Yeah,
just as many people
we all
are
know
getting
that's
hurt.
Bullshit.
So,
hey, oh, by the way, hey, let's add more games at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But player
let's
safety,
add more games, right?
We'll add another bye to curtail it. You know,
whatever.
Bullshit.
It's just But anyway,
I don't want baseball.
I still
love
love
my baseball for a reason.
And whatever rules they decide to come up with, I will still watch it. But I don't like some of these changes. I really don't. But hey, that's what they got to play under. John, what do you think of this season being the king? It's just another turn of the page for you. What did they lose? 1 game this year? Should have lost 2.
We lost 2.
You did lose 2. Should have lost 3.
Yeah, we should have lost 3.
The guy over here.
If you look at TikTok, they should have lost like 10 games. Because they had a toe tip in 1 game. They had a blocked field goal in 1 game. They had a PI call in 1 other game. A questionable PI call.
But I don't think you can argue the fact that situationally they're probably the best coach team in football.
They certainly take advantage of the refs at all times. Yeah, I agree.
Situationally, I said. I didn't say referees.
They are situationally working with the refs to win games.
Go ahead, John. Tell us about the season, man.
Well, it's been even though we're, like I said, we 15-2, but we didn't look like a 15-2 team a lot of times. But I just think that our players and our coaching staff is just always find a way to win.
Yep.
Oh my God! By the way, just gotta real quick, John, if you can move your camera down a little bit and show your shirt, just real quick.
What's
I got a little. Okay, boom.
Dude, look at this!
I just noticed he had the Fallout shirt on, so I was like, "Oh my God, I got twinsies!" So, sorry, I just noticed that he had it.
That's cool, man. Cool. Go ahead, John. Yeah, your coaching staff, we all know, man. Look, there's a reason why when they didn't play that often against each other. Well, when Bill Belichick shook hands like this and walked off. But whenever he met Andy Reid at the middle of the field, he hugged the man, wanted to talk to him for a few minutes, and they talked. He's probably the only coach that Bill Belichick ever respected in the NFL, and there's a reason for that. And they've got a great defensive coordinator. Spags, I can't believe somebody hasn't stolen him off that staff yet.
He's got like 4 interviews this week.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know why because he's an awful coach.
Yeah, head coach.
He's
Yeah,
great coordinator.
We've seen that experiment.
Great
yeah.
coordinator. He's
Yeah.
not a good head coach. Do
Some
not
guys
make him
are
a
just
head coach.
that, great coordinators.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
Take-
I'm not going to say
take
he
Nagy
hasn't
out.
earned it. I'm not going to say he hasn't earned another shot, but he's in the past he's been pretty bad at it.
Keely's talking about your matching T-shirts,
Oh,
boys.
Yeah.
I will say this about the season: Chiefs are a playoff team.
They
As
are.
long as you got Chris Jones, that defense is going to be on top of it.
And what's
Yep.
fucked up is they're going to be running more than they have all season. Checo's back, right?
Yep.
He's in one piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be running the ball like crazy.
Kareem Hunt's
It's so
still there.
funny to me. Every year they throw the ball all over the yard during the 17-game schedule, and then come the postseason, they're running like it's nobody's business.
Well, I mean, this year they didn't really do either.
Yeah, right.
Crazy. That's
Yeah,
the
it was-
crazy part.
dude,
But still winning
man.
games, and then the other part of it is Kelsey hasn't really been a big factor this year. But kind of a point that I heard on the radio on the way home yesterday was, well, maybe this is what they were saving him for.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
getting older.
He's not young
right?
anymore.
So,
Yeah.
So they've kind of limited him on purpose to unleash him in the playoffs where he could take over a game.
And our number 2 tight end's pretty good too. Noah Gray.
Yeah.
He's not bad.
saw
They
a lot of
missed a couple
highlights
throws with
this week.
him, but yeah.
Well, look, man, all I know is this: the playoffs are here, and it's another level. The cream will rise to the top, no doubt
Ooh,
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, the pretenders will be knocked
The
out.
pretenders
of the
will
first
fall by the wayside quickly.
round. And
I
the
mean,
overachievers.
yes, the overachievers. I just wonder: is Washington that overachiever, or do they have the other than the rookie quarterback? Do they have the veteran presence in a guy like Bobby Wagner, who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer running that defense? I mean, you watch the Washington games. I'm a homer for him. He was the quarterback of the Legion of Boom, but every time there's a tackle on defense, 54 is somewhere around the ball, man. I just love watching the guy. Is that veteran presence enough to get them over a couple of wins this season, in the playoffs? It's going to be fun to watch, boys and girls. I got to tell you, this is my favorite time of the year. When I worked at Libby Glass, anybody could tell you that you didn't see Joe on the weekends in January. I saved all my vacation time so I could come home and watch the games. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for being here, talking about John and Knock. And I also want to thank everybody in the chat that showed up today. Keely Chow, Real Weight Nation, all you guys, Tim. And Tim, I did see what you were talking about, the wild geese on the Jets Jihadist channel today. That ought to be cool for you guys. But I'm all about football today. I'm going to be playing football right up until the game starts. So I'm fixing to get on the college game, guys, and get my stuff done. So in case you need to get your stuff done. But let me let these guys know what's going on with the channel. Don't forget, next week, same time, Saturday, it's going to be divisional tailgate. Whoever makes it out of this round and goes on to play the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. We will see it all next weekend, and they'll have two days worth of games for the divisional playoffs. So you guys come back and see us next Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Monday, tomorrow, or excuse me, not tomorrow. I'm used to this being on Sunday. On Monday morning at 10 a.m., we're going to be doing Battleground. It was a suggestion by 11 Alpha, who's our friend in the chat on that show. So come see Martin and Gary and Anima and me as we talk about Battleground on Military Monday on Pop Culture Minefields channel at 10 a.m. And then at 4 p.m. Central Time, it's going to be America 3000 on the Canon Film Club on That 70s Rock Fans channel. That's at 4 p.m. Central Time on Monday. And then 5 p.m. Central Time on Monday, it's the Brothers Hack the Matrix. Come check out me and Highlander as we talk about all the topics of the day. And then Tuesday, Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, video games, cocktails, and fails. I'm going to be playing Beyond Two Souls. I have to wait on doing Mass Effect 2 because Jed's got to go in for another operation on his mouth. So it's going to be a couple weeks before we can do that one. But don't worry, I'm going to hit it as soon as he's ready. Beyond Two Souls comes your way at 10 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, if you missed our first look at everything in 2025, go check out that show. But this week on State of the Atmosphere, everything pop culture, and movies and shows and games. You check it out at 5:30 p.m. Central Time on Wednesday. And then Friday, it's Sketching the Privateer. I took the day off yesterday because I was just tired. I needed to get some rest. So it will be back this week, though, me working on my comic book at 1 p.m. on Friday and 8 p.m. on Friday. Check out Fallout, Tale of Two Wastelands, when it doesn't crash. Have you been working on that, John?
I haven't yet, but I'm going to work on it probably.
They apparently had a really good time last night playing GTA.
Yeah.
I did. I had
3?
a blast. Number 3, yeah. We went old
cool.
school on it. We did a couple missions. We drove a whore around several times, and we got a Banshee, one of the best cars in the game. Broke it out of the dealership and saved it in a garage, and then he went on a little bit of a rampage to end the game and blew up the car, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun.
John's an excellent driver, you know.
It was not very good. Now it was indeed not very good, which made it all the more hilarious.
That's because I was driving with the keyboard instead of.
Yeah, that too. That's awful.
You got to get the controller out if you're going to play that game,
man.
man.
It was an impromptu showing, but I think it was a good way. We still had like over an hour, so I didn't want to end the show. I was still drinking, so.
But they're going to be back on Pop Culture Mindfield's channel at 8 p.m. Central Time with some more Fallout. He's got to work his bugs out on his mods, but he'll have that ready to go next Friday. And it's right back around to us on Divisional Saturday. So, for myself, the Knoxter, and Das Wolfen, I want to thank you guys for being here. Let's see, what's Killy Chow talking about? 10 years ago today, Des Bryant and the Cowboys were screwed by the refs and other officials. It was a catch. Yes, it was a catch. You're right. You're welcome.
I believe that you believe that was a
thing. Thank you for a great show. You are completely welcome, Killy Chow. Thanks for being here, buddy. And until we see you again, I want you guys to keep on keeping on. God bless.